Hey, Brooke, how are you today?
Hanging in there.
Good, good. Good to see you always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have, as always, an interesting show and a few things, a few different topics that we would absolutely like to discuss. One of which we are currently in energetically is the Lionsgate portal. Not sure if many of you have heard about that, but it's and Brooke really has some stuff to share on that. So we'll just go ahead and let Brooke share.
Yeah, well, I will say that I believe that maybe last year was the first year that I was consciously aware of anything called, Lionsgate. I think maybe like the last 2 years, I was only aware of like, portals, which, are really just huge energetic events, you know, um,
Oh,
made
now,
to, I guess, move us.
so do you mind if I read them real quick? Actually, I apologize. I forgot to
No,
read
go
what
ahead.
what that is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. So just to give you all a heads up, because I even had to look this up a little bit. I'm not completely familiar with it. I've heard about it, but not familiar with it that much. And I'm getting this information from a website, ethanlazzarini.com. And so the Lionsgate is basically a uh, a cycle that starts while the sun. I'll just read it verbatim. There are different interpretations of Lionsgate and how long it lasts, as it is an astrological cycle of dates. The cycle starts on the 26th of July, which coincides with the rising of the bright star Sirius. This was seen as an important time of the year for ancient Egyptians. Some say Sirius is our spiritual sun. The cycle starts while our sun is in the sign of Leo, which is the lion, and the energy peaks on August 8th, which is 8/8, when it is said that the three stars of Orion's belt align with the three pyramids of Giza, Egypt.
Yes, that's pretty amazing. That's the part I meant to tell you about before we started was that the Orion aligns with Giza. So that's something right there.
Yes.
It's crazy that my smoke alarm just went off for like absolutely no reason.
Is that what that was? I was
Yes,
wondering. Oh, that's so
I'm
crazy.
not cooking anything. I'm not.
Wow. All right, that's interesting. So, after the 8/8, the energy starts, which is the date, August 8th, the energy starts receding rapidly, with most people saying that the portal closes around August 12th. So, today's August 10th, and we are right there at the end of it. But sorry about that. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, because that's why I said I think that these are things that some of us are just becoming aware of that exist. I know that consciously, like I said, last year was the first year that I knew of anything called Lionsgate. Then funny to find out that my daughter is born on like the peak day, 8/8. So I kind of want to like find out more about that. It's interesting. But I guess the reason I wanted to share my experience is because we all experience energies very different. We are
Mhm.
all here surfing our own waves. And the reason for the difference in the way we experience it, I honestly don't know. I think it just has to do with our individual souls and journeys. But the reason I wanted to share so much is because my experience is because we tend to label things negative, positive, good, bad. Mine can be labeled as what we would usually say is negative. I don't see it that way. I know that something bigger is going on, but I feel like during these energies, you'll see a lot of people going, "Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. I'm embracing this. This is just the best time of my life." For me, I go into like absolute psychosis. And I realized this this year, it caught me off guard. And because I was trying to go into this with like this positive, like, yes, this energy's here. Yeah, I'm going to harness this energy. Oh, yeah, it's going to be wonderful. And as usual, it catches me off guard. And I end up like losing my ever loving mind and pretty much could have very easily signed myself in somewhere.
That was this time you could have done that. It was that intense.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, by the end of the day on Sunday, I was shaking.
Mm.
Like my nerves, like I was shaking and hyperventilating, and you know what I mean?
Now,
But then I
can
go
I ask
ahead.
you a question? Was there
Yeah.
anything that happened during the day that that like increased the energies, or did you kind of like start out the day kind of feeling away? Like, can you?
So whenever I move into these peak days of what I would call my kind of like psychosis, whenever I move into that, it really, I say I get caught off guard, but I really don't, because it starts days before that. You
Mm,
know, like I can wake up in the morning and I can think that I'm fine, but then one little event or a phone call, like the phone will ring or a kid will say mom, and I kind of realize that I'm like literally like ticking, you know, and literally so on edge. And so that did start a few days before.
okay.
And you know, and then Sunday was the day that, you know, as much as I know in these times, you want to try to just be relaxing as much as possible and just letting this energy come in and come out like a wave, you know, let it ride in, let it ride out. But we all have life that we're dealing with, you
Mhm,
know, so that happened to be a day that I had six teenagers in the car.
mhm, mm,
And I actually did pretty well. Like, you know, when I was getting too much, like certain songs would come on and I would just turn it up and kind of just, you know, I've always been like a head shaker when I feel like this, or even kind of softly bang my head a little bit when I get like this. I know this all sounds weird, but I've kind of done these things since I was little. Um, so, like I said, having said that, I was just now consciously aware last year of Lionsgate, I can look back now at this time of year and go, oh my God, I've like gone bonkers so many other times this time of year.
mhm,
And I think a couple of years ago, I pointed out a couple other times of year that I have issues before I was ever aware of the energies that come in and come out. Um, but yeah, this time there was just no, you know, so like I said, I wanted to share this because some people think that there's something wrong with them if they're not just going, oh my God, this energy is so beautiful. It's so amazing. And this energy is beautiful. And this energy is amazing. And there is so much going on during these times. A lot of people are getting extra downloads, getting lots of information. There's so much going on right now. Why I feel it in the way that I feel it, I honestly don't know. I do know that I always joke and say that I am here to experience the full experience of the range of emotions.
mhm,
And I know, and like I guess my hope and like my self-talk is knowing that, Brooke, you're going to be okay. Like next week, this time, you're going to be better than ever. You know, it's like you're going to shake your little snow globe just got shaken up. When it all settles, you're going to have more clarity about things. But I just want to say to the people that are feeling what we would label negative right now, like it's okay, and just do your best. And we are kind of past that hump. I know that even since I know that yesterday was a world of difference from even the day before, and I know I'm feeling better today, and I know the wave is going out now.
mhm.
You know, just that wave crashed on me on 8/8. But it's okay, because I just will say that it's taking something with it, and I will have gained something else, and now next year I will know to be more prepared.
Yeah. Well, so it I equate this to like the moon, the phases of the moon, and how we, we say all the time, oh, it's a full moon out. That affects people differently. These portals, these Lionsgate portal, and there are others throughout the year. It's the same type of thing where the energies, the
Yeah, and that's why I
astrological
say these
energies.
energies are, I guess, just very personal to each of us and how they work in us. Because again, you know, I just became aware of these other more intense energies maybe in the last 2 years.
Hmm.
But the moon is something that I've been fully aware of how it affects me probably since I was in. It's always affected me, but I was aware of it in like my upper teens, that that was exactly what it was that was doing it.
Mm,
And I looked at it very negatively for a long time. And then it was only like a few years ago that I went, how can something so beautiful as the moon be negative?
Hmm.
And that's when it came to me, is that it's everything that I've built up in me, or even possibly some of us empaths, what we've taken from other people and held on to,
Mm.
that at the moon is me shaking all of that out to
Wow.
be fresh for the next month. So I finally had a better perspective a few years ago, and just going, oh, the moon makes me insane. The moon makes me insane. Then I finally changed that to, no, the moon is clearing everything that I've taken from other people and maybe myself. And it's clearing that out for me to start fresh again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so what that experience, um there's so much that we can glean from that. And one is the importance of obviously awareness of energy, which kudos to you for being aware of it, a few days before, and kind of getting the idea that it's coming. Like that's a really strong intuitive mind, that and a sense of awareness, which is awesome. So kudos to you for that.
Thanks. That's
You're
why
welcome.
I talk so openly about it, because I know that there are plenty of people that kind of like ride the steady wave in this life, and that is amazing and that is awesome, and we need those steady waves. Like we need those people that are consistent for us, that are, but then there's those of us that maybe try to take on more to have more to release. And but some people, I share these stories because some people aren't aware that that's what they're doing,
Yeah.
and they're thinking that something is truly wrong with them, and they are going to doctors. Because I did it. I remember like 15 years ago going to a doctor
Hmm.
and needing something right then because I was going to lose my mind. But now that I'm aware that, okay, I'm going to shake this all loose, it is going to pass. I feel like I'm doing some sort of healing for people when this is happening. I feel like I'm not just getting rid of my junk, that I'm also helping clear other junk out of here. So I think just that perception makes it a lot better than just thinking like, oh, these energies make me bonkers.
Hmm. Hmm. It which is awesome, and you're right, and definitely something that we can begin to discuss is how to, and I know we've discussed before, like different ways that you can manage energy, but um it is an important idea to ground and clear. And I know we've like given tips on how to handle situations, not situations like that, but yeah, but where you feel this not sense of, would you say you're not feeling grounded? Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I mean, when I like the couple days leading up till Sunday and Sunday, like I literally feel like I'm crawling out of my skin.
Mm, okay.
And unfortunately,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, 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 no. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's the times that we need these techniques the most, that when I'm so far gone, it's the last thing I want to do.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about habits before and how it's important to have these habits that we go to, to build them up before we get to those moments, so that they're already there in place and you almost start to do it instinctively without
Yeah.
even, thinking it. It is, I definitely recommend doing it on a regular basis, which is clearing, shielding your energy, grounding your energy. So it's already moving and that flow is already there. And when you get to these points, I don't know, maybe, do you meditate every day often? I don't know. Do you? I don't even know.
So I really don't.
Okay.
Like I said, my meditation is cutting the grass.
Mm, mm, okay.
And my meditation is moving meditation. My meditation is walking around cleaning or
Mm,
picking things up and putting them down. So I'm a mover. So
mm,
I do say that that is my calm. Like if I'm like, my husband used to get upset when I would pace the house and he'd be like, oh my gosh, sit down, sit down. That would infuriate me to have to sit down. But as long as like I'm moving, like I have to move. And I think that's the thing with the energies. Like I said, we're all so different.
yeah.
And for me, when it comes to energies, I have to move. Like I said, from the time I was little, I remember it driving my dad crazy that I would sit in the truck and swing my head side to side, and I still do that.
Wow.
And I still do it. So it's like, I guess
Oh,
My individual purpose is to shake it and move it.
well, all right. So I have an interesting I have an in I have all right, so I wonder if you were to move, but move with the intention and the focus on sending your energy down. So, like, rather than focus on the cleaning, I wonder, and I'm just throwing this out there as ideas,
Yeah.
um, like if you were to move and then but as you're moving, and you could do this in any way, because so what we're talking about now is grounding, clearing your energy, which is so important, and then shielding it as well. And you can do this all in one at one time. You know, you can have that intention of all three things happening at one time. So if as you're moving, you visualize your energy going into the ground, and and just planning it into the ground and just seeing the energy going down, um which is an extremely powerful, especially if you were to do that in nature, you're just adding so much more of that energy, flow into Mother Earth.
Yeah.
It's very effective. But if you're moving with the visualization and focus on sending that energy, and not like cleaning or anything like that, because that's a distracted focus. You focus solely on that energy movement, but you continue to move. That is a things like Tai Chi and Qigong are very kind of like that, where you
Yeah.
move with direct focuses in mind and intentions. And the intentions are so important when you're doing this kind of work. You want to continue to shield your energy. And I'll tell you, it's as you were talking, I've realized that I have been having experiences during this Lionsgate thing that I didn't even associate with.
Yeah. So when we first got on, and
Yeah.
Chris and I were talking about Lionsgate, he was just like, I don't know. I can't really say that like
Mhm.
anything's been going on. And I said, well, I was like, have you been getting maybe extra communication? Because I said a lot of people during this time will get extra communication. So he kind of started thinking, he's like, maybe I have had stuff going on. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. So, well, one thing that's been happening to me recently, and I just got back from vacation, is I honestly feel like there are moments in time when and I've been saying it, like it's almost as if my soul we talked about astral projection last podcast, and I almost feel like that's starting to happen as I'm like in everyday situations where something happens and I almost feel. I'll give you for instance, I was on vacation last week, and my family and I um were walking, and all of a sudden the complete right side of my body almost went out, to where as I was walking, I almost stumbled into this door. Um, Now nothing was happening. I was just walking, and it just went out. And it was like a fraction of a second, but I could feel like that whole side of my body just go out. And then I got right back into it, but it shocked me. And I've noticed that that has happened several times over the past couple of weeks. And I keep saying, like, I feel like my soul is like coming out a little bit.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot lately from
Really?
people. Yeah. Like it's a lot of people have been saying that. And like, yeah, I've had throughout this last week a lot of dizzy spells, a lot of
Yes.
just like womp moments, and a lot of yeah,
What is a womp womp moment?
like just kind of like where you kind of feel like you're getting ready to pass out, but you don't, like they're
Yes,
really quick, like
exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, like I said, this apparently is common because I'm hearing it from a lot of people. And I like sharing these things because you will take a somewhat of an average person. Yes. And always go to the doctor. If you feel like you have to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. But it's just so crazy that around these times, I'll talk to so many people that are like making doctor's appointments because they have vertigo
Mhm.
or they have. So that's why I say, like, even the people that are not aware of these energies are affecting them,
Completely.
you know?
Mhm.
So it's just it is wild.
Yeah. That's a oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, well, I'm glad that you brought that up because yeah, I didn't never even associate it. The astrological stuff I pay attention to from a distance. I'm aware of them, but I don't really get into them in depth. So,
Yeah. And yeah, and I honestly never have either. It's just something that I keep stumbling upon, like when something is going on, I'm just like, wow, that makes this make a lot more sense. It's just like when I was in my teens and I caught on to the moon thing, I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And so, like I always say, everything is everything. And so, yeah, these stars lining up and doing their thing is pretty trippy.
yes. And well, you're absolutely right. And definitely the people in our audience, I would feel are, obviously into this type of topic. They are aware of a lot of this stuff. So that's why we also bring up these grounding exercises. So it is, I definitely recommend, and I've noticed, and just before I go into that, I have channeled information where they keep telling me about what is happening to me. And they do say it is part of the ascension process, where but they don't tell me specifically what is happening. They just say it is part of the process. So know
Yeah.
that what is happening to me is okay. And so but the topic of clearing your energy and protecting it, shielding it, I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are experiencing different energies like Brooke is talking about, and they're not really sure how to handle them. And then I'm starting to understand that certain individuals they're not grounded, and they are, like Brooke was saying, absorbing some energy, and they're not necessarily releasing it, and there's stagnant energy within your body, within your energy system, and that can manifest itself in many, many different ways, and not a lot of them feel very good. So grounding your energy is all about it is all about movement, but movement of energy within your system. And when you focus specifically or set an intention of moving energy in your system, and you can visualize that, and then you move in that direction, again, the triangle, you think it, you speak it in a sense of setting an intention, and then you act upon that through an actual physical movement like Brooke does, or through a visualization, or a visualization and a movement, which is even
Yeah.
more power
Yeah. And
energy than that.
breathing is something that I do. Because I know that there's times that just that energy is just sitting there. So breathing is something, and like I don't even do major techniques. I just simply, when I feel that lump and I feel that energy, I just, what I mean, as many times. I just do the big, you know what I mean? Like,
Are you doing that
there's a
with an intention of moving, or are you just,
yes,
oh,
yes. So
beautiful,
that is something I actually
that's
do
huge.
intentionally do is I, send that light ball in there to collect that and encompass it and then blow it back out. So that is really like one of my main techniques. But like I said, I'm sure that there's so much more that I could be doing. But when I'm in this mood, like I think when when you're talking about like the more like the Tai Chi, which I think is beautiful, and the grounding, like I literally need to do one of those, like I feel like I need to do a tribal dance. I feel like I need to do a tribal dance. I feel like I have to do a warrior yell. I feel like I should even beat on my chest, which I have. Like I'm a collarbone tapper. I don't know why.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I feel like I need some extreme warrior stuff. I don't know if you saw the Olympics and like the New Zealand team when they did like their like that's what I need to move this energy when it's this intense. I need some warrior yelling and like
Like the
stomping.
hookah thing, is that the hookah thing?
Yes.
Yeah, 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 that's
Oh
pretty
my
cool.
gosh, when that first came up, I when somebody posted, I thought it was like kind of put up as a joke, but I started watching it. I was like, this is amazing.
Hmm.
Like this is so powerful. When I watched that whole dance, I was like, that is the kind of power. Like I feel like I need to be like, what's the word? Not exercise. Like when I am like I was on at 8'8", like I really feel like I need somebody to like exercise the demons
Yeah.
is how it feels. But I feel like some kind of warrior chant and yell is what I need.
Well, do you so, like, I mean, okay, so I literally just got an image in my mind of someone digging a hole, okay, when you were talking.
Okay.
And what see, I'm getting that sense of going away. I feel like my body is going away at the moment. Not my body, my like my soul. I just had that. All right, something's coming in, but
Maybe some
something,
answers.
mm,
Go with it. It may
something's
be some
happening.
answers.
I'm not hearing it. Something's happening, but I got an it. I got an image of somebody digging a hole, and it's almost like a gold prospector, and what they are saying is that you don't have to dig the hole in one day. And they're using this as a metaphor. This is information that's coming in right now. So they're saying you don't have to dig it all in one day, meaning you don't have to release all that energy at one time. What you do is develop a habit of grounding your energy on a very, very regular basis. If you could do it every day, great. And I feel like this is channeling.
Okay.
But
Keep
if you
going.
can't, no worries. Developing a consistent habit of multiple times a week, 3 to 4 would be ideal, if not every day. But to begin that habit of moving this energy on a much more regular basis, you begin to dig the hole with little scoops at a time. You conserve more of your energy. You allow more of the energy to flow through you on a much more slower pace rather than attempting to dig the entire hole at one time. So if if you can develop that habit, this is not channeled. If you can develop that habit um, on a more routine basis, it'll help you more positively influence the movement of the energy. And thus, when these waves are experienced, this is being channeled. When these waves are being experienced, you will not have to feel as if you are moving the entire wave at one time, digging the entire hole at one time. You are simply moving a little bit more energy than normal, but not to the intense energetic vibration of moving the entire wave. And that is a greater understanding of what is occurring during these moments in time. The shielding of energy is important for all humanity as you move about this realm, understanding that energy stagnant in the body will, as discussed, manifest itself in many different ways, and this is not recommended for any human. You and the ability to move energy is very important. Understanding that moving this energy will allow more density to be released from the body and more light to be entered into it. And this is an important aspect for all of humanity. It is the stagnant energy that builds and accumulates on top of each other that provides so much more feelings of unbalanced energy. And this is not helpful. Begin the habitual ideas, movement of the energy as quickly as you can, not quickly in the movement of energy, but developing the habit in a, so they're saying develop it sooner rather than later, of moving the energy more freely, more routinely, to allow for that energy to be moved and not stagnant in the energy until a particular point when it explodes and it is felt in such a rapid one motion. It is not helpful. The waves are for all humanity to experience. This is true, but it is the centered aspect of the wave that we encourage you all to be on. And that occurs when you develop these habitual patterns of moving the energy, being within that center more often rather than free flowing within the highs and lows of the energetic vibration that you currently feel. You want to be more centered, and this occurs with the habitual movement of the energy. And for that, we are very grateful. Archangel Michael speaking, the archangel of protection, and here to assist all of humanity in its accumulation of light and love. The souls are attempting to move more energy as you are all experiencing this, and we do ask you to move it more freely. We have asked Christopher to communicate about such movements of energies in this podcast, and we are pleased that both Brooke and him are communicating these energies. We communicate with the audience at this moment in time. We ask you all to be very diligent in what you are doing and how you are moving these energies, and different grounding techniques. Yes, as discussed, are meditation. Movement meditation is one that is very effective, but we do encourage a more silent one. The body does require movement. This is certainty. And we do encourage that. But we do ask that you take moments of time to be still, both in your movements and in your mind. And this will allow for a greater sense of understanding of your own energy and what it is trying to do. We tell you now, there are times when you do have to move. This is accurate, but there are also times when you must, and it is encouraged to stay still and observe the energies, knowing that you do not have to move with them at all times, knowing that you are in control of what you do at all times if you so choose to be. That just because the energy is being felt does not mean that it has to move you. This is an idea of being groundedness. It is an indication that you do not have to be what the energy indicates you must be. This is a sense of power and light that you all possess within you. Should you so develop the routines, the habits of being one with the energy that you feel, and moving it when it is necessary, will be very helpful. And when we say be one with the energy we feel, we don't mean ride the wave and its ups and downs. We simply say observe at those moments. Be very aware of the control that you have over your actions. And the triangle is an aspect of this that has been indicated to Christopher, an important one, not one that has to be ridden at all moments and times. We encourage great distance to be brought about the different aspects of the physical, both the thought, the action, and the speech that is commonly referred to in this podcast. We encourage greater understanding of the distance is created when you begin to separate the action, the speech, and the thought, and knowing that one does not control the other. It is an important aspect that we have brought forth to you, and one that you can build upon in your daily routines, knowing that you have greater control over all three of them when you so choose to have it. The routine of developing this will help greatly in that. And for that, we are very grateful. Archangel Michael speaking. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Okay, I'm sorry about that. That was really coming in pretty intensely there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I figured we were gonna get a little help, things we were kind of like, is this or is it that, because I always kind of take that opposite route. But I guess he told me that I need to like start calm myself down and learn to ground a little better, which is what they've been telling me since the very beginning. It's what
No
they
way.
always tell me.
Really? Oh, wow.
I so like he's saying, yes, Brooke, the movement is good. Yes, people, the movement is good, but you also have to be still. You also have to that's just something I'm forever working on, is how to actually still myself.
And I will say this, feel peace at where you're at, where we're all at, because we're all working on something.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely sure. So, I mean, there's a lot that I'm working on too. So don't ever
Yeah.
feel like, I hope you don't take that and feel overwhelmed with it. Because that's
No, I just think I need to find a time to sit and ground.
yeah, yeah.
And align. But it's I guess I make my life so busy somehow. And
Mhm. Well,
and
you're always trying to help people.
I don't know how to not make it busy, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so as far as like digging the hole goes, I mean, it's kind of like what I tell kids in school, like, because I get the behavioral kids and I try to get them to recognize when they first start feeling something. Like, not when you get to the point of explosion, but like,
Mhm.
when did you first feel that little knot in your stomach? When did you first feel that that something is happening? So like basically they're saying like, start then. As soon as you feel, like, don't wait for the explosion. As soon as you even start feeling that something is off balance, whether and most of us can tell simply by our moods,
Mhm.
so they're saying start then. But what they also said that I picked up on was a lot of us think that we're going to go in, we're going to meditate, and we're going to do some breath work, and wham, bam, like we're just going to have all that energy moved. No, it may take time.
Mhm.
Like you may be just trying to keep yourself at it even. It may take a few days depending on who you are and what energy that you're moving.
Mhm.
Because, I think there are some of us here that are to hold us steady. I think there are some of us here that are meant to move a lot more. All parts of this job equally important, but I think we all hold different places when it comes to this moving of energy. We need the steadies, we need the calms, we need the movers, and I guess it's the movers that need the support of those steadies and calms, you know
Mhm.
um but all equally important. But that it might not happen in a moment, that you have to realize that it's going to just be a little at a time and not take the whole pile
Yeah.
not dig the whole hole at once.
Well, and another thing that I've been getting, you're absolutely right, and I keep seeing the digger for whatever reason. The digger, grounding, interesting. I cannot get rid of that image. It is so implanted in my mind right now. I keep seeing them. So, yeah, and we've said before, developing that habit of even when you're not feeling it, grounding that energy so that it doesn't come in and just overwhelm you right away. You've already moved some, so there's some
Yeah.
space in there that, you know. But I'll tell you, there's another aspect of all of this, and that is shielding your energy. And that is something that I've realized a lot lately is more important than I used to realize. Shielding your energy is helping us not absorb or not take on so much other people's energy. And I'll tell you a technique that I use, and that is I'll go into a meditation and I'm with all of you. I understand how life is so busy and we don't always, find that time. So honestly, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll shield my energy and I'll hold that intention. And intention is so important. I don't care what you're doing. You could do anything, but if you're intending and you're aware and you're mindful at that very moment of shielding your energy, and you can do that in any way. Like you can envision a shield on your in your hand, and any kind of energies that are coming, that shield blocks and deflects. Another one is I will envision this light over my entire body, and any negativity that tries to penetrate into me is deflected away. So there are many different visualizations, very different, but it is the intention that you hold of deflecting. And as soon as you are aware of lower vibrational energy being directed at you in whatever way, that could be an argument, could be gossip, it could be just a feeling that you have. As soon as you're aware of it, then you've already worked, you've developed that habit, and at that moment you can again begin to deflect and not absorb, and that's an extremely strong intention to have. um Also, like clearing your energy, when you can envision a broom, you can develop something that works for you. A broom, I envision a light that like wraps my body like a mummy, almost mummification, where I envision my body being wrapped in golden white light and love, and I use that to dispel any kind of energy that is on me, away from me, off of me, and then I'm filled with light and love again. These are techniques that I use almost daily, but the importance of them has only recently been relayed to me, and the amount that I go in now, like before I would maybe only do it once or twice a week. Now I'm doing it almost every single day in the middle of the night, where I shield my energy, block or ground my energy. And that way, when situations come up, I am grounded enough to understand that, okay, this is a situation and of negativity and or lower vibration, and I feel it, and then I make my decision on, okay, how do I want to handle that? But I'm already moving that energy. So those are some really good,
Yeah, no,
techniques.
you're pretty awesome as far as your discipline goes, because you're right. This is something that has to be practiced until it does become second nature.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if you're to tie a string around your wrist or something. Like for the people listening, I'm thinking about what I might have to do for like a reminder that even if it's the walk from like maybe where you work to your car, to, you know, instead of rushing, just to take that time, like any moment you can find right now to and bring yourself to a place. Because I know that like busyness really isn't an excuse that I keep making it up to be, because there are moments in the day that you can do something.
Mhm.
And Chris, like you were saying, in the middle of the night, that is actually so important.
Mhm.
That is actually, you know, 'cause I know a lot of us will, you know, not maybe be up, but we just will wake up, look at the clock. Let that be a cue that as you're going back to sleep, just go, I'm going back to sleep, wrap me in love and light, you know, let the best intentions happen the rest of the night. Like anything that you want to find to say or just to envision or feel, Chris, that is the perfect time. Like I don't have nightmares often. Matter of fact, I actually go wonderful places in my sleep. I go to schooling a lot in my
Mhm.
sleep. I That is when the good stuff happens for me. But like last night, I had like a terrible kind of nightmare, and you know, when I woke up and was trying to get back to sleep, I had nothing in my bag of tricks like you do. I honestly was just trying to get back to sleep. I wasn't even thinking about putting myself back to sleep wrapped in light, putting myself, you know what I mean? And that we should get to a point to where that is our first go-to thing.
Oh my g I had the same night last night.
Yeah.
It was intense. I and okay, all right, I'll share something with you. What you just said last night is why this keeps coming up for me, the grounding
Ah,
of the energy,
I've
because
not had a nightmare in a long time.
well, I'll tell
Long
you,
time.
there are a lot of energies out there that are lower vibration that are revealing themselves with a little bit more frequency, and especially when you're doing light work, you know, low vibration doesn't want that work done. So they wanna intimidate you to not away from doing
Oh,
that work.
this played big time on me. This played big time on me last night. Like
Yes.
not just the nightmare in general, but what it was like saying to me and what is, yeah, it was pretty deep
E
on how it was attacking me.
exactly. Oh, man. Same exact thing, Brooke, happened to me last night. That's so crazy. In the sense that now when I say that, I mean, yes, I was having visualizations that were images that were coming to me. I was getting words that were very low vibrational, and I knew right away something was trying to get to me. But that's all part of this, you know, that's all part of the spiritual journey that we're on, you know. We're in a dense world, so we're going
Like,
to
are
experience.
you ready for mine? Long story short.
Yeah,
Okay, without being like cocky at all, my whole thing is like a superhero persona. Like I'm always
that's
like, that's
awesome.
what makes me feel strong. That's what makes me feel helpful. That's what makes me. And I always relate to like Captain Marvel. And so like that's like I always say it's my alter ego, my Captain Marvel. Well, basically, long story short, in the stream last night, I couldn't save anybody. I couldn't do anything. Matter of fact, most of what was happening was my fault. Was my
Mm,
like, even though I know this isn't true, but that is what this energy was making me like, took the thing that I hold like the biggest and giving myself like positive self-talk, like my whole superhero thing, and like tore that whole idea to shreds.
mm, interesting.
Yeah. I failed at everything. Like I failed at like I had to watch all the people I know die. That I failed that, and the whole point of the dream was that I failed at saving them. You know, which I know in my waking mind, I'm not here to. You know, it's like I can't save anybody. You
Mhm,
know,
mhm.
but it's like in but that other side of me that wants to so bad. But like, yeah, it played on my biggest fear last night. It played on my biggest, and I wish that we'd had this. Well, I wish we knew. So I need to like be more ready in those moments to like stand against it. And
Mhm,
I kept trying to get back to sleep. I was like, no, I want to redo. I'm going up against this thing. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But like it never came back to it, or maybe it did. I just don't remember.
Yeah,
But like, yeah. So like you're saying all these techniques, I wish I was more ready.
mhm.
I wish I was more ready to stand against it, not in fear.
Well, and I'll tell you that these techniques that you know, I was just saying, I use mantras, I use visualizations, stillness, and then I call them in too. That cannot be always, always, always call them in for help as well, because and oh my gosh, there are okay, I'm definitely going to have to talk about this. There are so many stories out there of where you have, okay, I'll just say them. You have the Lady of Fatima story where Mother Mary was coming to these three children in 1914. And I tell you this, okay, develop the habits, yes, and all the techniques that I've told that I've been saying and I've been getting from above are very helpful, and I used them last night. And I do a lot of spiritual work for people where I'm helping them clear their energy. And when that happens, it always comes to me. The energy always comes, and then I have to get rid of it from me. So I take it from you, and then I have to get rid of it from me. And um and I tell you that because you are all light workers, you are all powerful beings, and these techniques are here to help you when you do the work. When you do the work on yourself, it, it only helps you help others more.
Yeah. Yep.
And I will tell you that when you call these spiritual beings in, it is so powerful. Um, and we're all I'm trying to find a good word, but I'm just going to say fighting the low vibration. And every day we're either fighting it for ourselves or we're helping someone else fight it for them.
Yeah.
And it is tough to do when you are not grounded, when you're riding these emotional roller coasters, because it it plays on all of those emotions. And I'm telling I have had so many battles with this, with the low vibration and different entities, energies, whatever you want to call it. I'm working with one woman right now where she's, every time I go in there and her energies, I see these leeches that are on her. And I told her, I'm like, I'm to the point where there's only so much more I can do because you need to do this work. Because
Yes.
she's not. So
And that's the thing, like coming from healers to anybody else out there. And a lot of us are naturally healers, but a good healer is going to help you heal yourself. There's only
exactly.
so far. I mean, it's just like our guides above. There's only so far they can take us, but we still have work to do. The same thing when a healer is helping you, we can only take you so far if you're not doing the work. And if there's something you have to dig or something you have to let go of, that part's on you.
Yep.
Somebody like Chris or I, or even the above, can take you so far,
Hmm.
but you have to look at what you have to do,
Yeah.
whether it's something you're watching or listening to or engaging in, or a situation like, and none of us are spotless.
Hmm.
It's like, I'm sure I
Yep.
can go in and think of many ways I could make my life better and clearer. It's like, I am down to, like, there's things I won't watch anymore.
Hmm.
There's things I won't listen to. Go
I
ahead.
will show. Okay, so here is a huge tip, guys. If you're going in and you're visualizing the light coming in from above, I'm going to give you a huge tip. If you go through every chakra with the light, you see the light go into every chakra. If you're going through that visualization, if you come to a point in the visualization, you come to a chakra point and you are struggling to get in there, you are struggling to see it, you're struggling to clear it, whatever. Like every time you go into it, your mind goes somewhere else and you can't see it. That is a huge indication of a block. That tip is so huge. So many people, when they're starting out to do this white light meditation, they struggle to start it. Well, that's an indication that your crown chakra is blocked. All right. And you unblock these chakras through intention and through understanding what that chakra is indicating. So if you're someone that's new to this and you're starting this white light meditation and you're like, man, I can't even get into my crown chakra, which is the first one, start believing in your own divinity. Okay. Get through that chakra. And then each chakra has its own, like, I am statement, if you will. So the crown chakra is I am connected to the divine within me. The third eye is I am wise. I am open to seeing all. These are I am statements that will help you open and cleanse these chakras. The throat, I speak my truth. The heart, I am love. Solar plexus, I am confident in who I am. Sacral chakra, uh I am loved. I am loved. The heart is I am love. The sacral is I am loved.
Loved.
And through the physical aspect of touch, touch is what the sacral chakra is all about. And then the root one is I am safe, secure, and grounded. So if you're going into these chakras and you're starting to, and I'll tell you what, you could do this on someone else's chakras. This is how I get into people's chakras,
Yeah.
or to their energy. I will go in and I'll start to, don't don't force the image. Allow the image to go where it's meant to go, because that's revealing to you. Like once you start getting into it, you're going to start. But don't do this if you're not grounded yourself, because that you're opening up, you're opening yourself up to other people's energy when you yourself aren't even grounded. And that is, I don't recommend that, because as I say, when you do that, you don't know what's attached to these people. And like the leech I see, I'm currently fighting these leeches off myself.
Mhm.
I have other people that have entities attached to them that come to me, and I'll take that, and then I have to fight it. So make sure you develop your own habits first. And
See, so you're like a superhero.
no, 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 no. We all are. We all are.
We all are. We all really are.
Yeah, we are, and we need everyone to. And eights are. I'm seeing eights so many times throughout this podcast. So just to, oh, and that's the 8-8 we just talked about. Eights are huge. I'm seeing eights. I see 4 of them right now. Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So that is why these habits are so important, and beginning to establish these routines are so important. It's because when you go in there and you're trying to help not only yourself but other people, you can absorb some of what they have, and these low vibrational entities will try to poke holes and hold on to your own like flaws or weaknesses. So if you develop these habits, they help you be more grounded and resist the temptations that the low vibration is trying to hold on to. And Buddha, as he was under his tree, I forget the tree that he was under, but he had this one last temptation, and all he did was with one finger touch the ground. The low vibrational guy down there had, was coming to him with another temptation, and he just touched the ground, and it was like everything was grounded at that moment, and he had his own power, and boom, it went away. You guys are going to be doing that work as well. And if you're not doing it on your work yourself first, you leave yourself susceptible to being uh to holes being held onto with a little bit more tightness than is needed, I'll say.
Yeah. And I think just the final key at the end of all of that is because they have said it over and over and over again in almost every channeling. And I think I know I forget it's on our free will. We have to call them, we have to tell them we want help.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the end, it's funny because when I give advice to other people on how to do this, I'm telling them the right thing, but I'm not doing it. Like I tell my mom, I'm like, collect it all like in a ball and then call on the angels. It's like, if you know specific names that you like to use, that's amazing. You can simply call on the angels, the light,
Mm-hmm.
the guide. It's like they don't have an ego up there. They're like, oh, I don't know, she didn't say the particular angel name, so I'm not going to go down there. But just to simply call on them to come down and help you with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm horrible with this. I will tell somebody else that's what to do. I forget to do it for myself, but it is free will. We really do have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
They do take some of us so far, but it is that we do have to ask,
Yep.
you know?
It's so helpful. It is helpful to build your spiritual support team. And it is there's so much more light and love the more that you call in, the more beings you call in. And specifically by name is very helpful. Ascendant masters, archangels, so many of them out there, regular angels, not regular, but angels, not archangels. The more that you call in, the more
Oh,
help.
those regular angels.
Yeah, right. Very powerful beings. The more that we call in, the more they do help us. And the, there are different ones help with different things,
Yeah.
different ascendant masters, different archangels, different angels. And but yeah, there's so build your spiritual support team. Call them in as much as you can. I channeled for this one woman, and then they said, we don't even care if you call us in to determine the type of candy bar to ask. We want and need you to call us in.
Yeah.
And there's so much.
And maybe that's a good practice to start. Like, since I know that when I get into the big stuff is when I'm least likely to remember to ask for help. So maybe it's a good practice to get into calling them for very little things.
Mhm.
It's like, do I go to the store or stay home right now? Or maybe call them for little things and just get used to hearing what you feel as their guidance. And maybe then we'll remember when the bigger things come to call on them for that too. It's kind of what we always, well, I don't know. Some people do the opposite. Some people only call on them for the big stuff and forget about them the rest of the time. I guess we really have to get used to integrating them to mostly every aspect of our lives.
I have a
And
list. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
well, no, I just believe in the very near future that is going to be exactly how we'll be living,
Mhm.
very hand in hand with the other side. So I think we should just get used to it now, going ahead and consulting them for a lot more things.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. There is no right or wrong. Like the way that you do, the way you in general, you out there, audience, the way you do things, the way that I do things, the way that Brooke does things, it's all right. It
Yeah.
is all just our way of learning. So
Perfect example. I see it, like, so at school in the morning, there's a group of us that meet for like a morning prayer. And, and to hear each person and how they do it, and nobody's right or nobody's wrong. Like, you do have some people that have the beautiful words and you really feel it, and you get to somebody else and they're just might just go, oh, love and light cover this building and me today. You might get to somebody else who is just, but it's like, in the end, all of it was huge.
exactly.
Whether the person just said 3 words or whether the person delivered this beautiful, eloquent speech, it is all powerful and it's all beautiful.
Yep. And there's a reason. Now, this is not something that we were going to get into today, but there is a reason why you are where you are. And souls move at different paces. So you may have a soul that is moving or is trying to move very quickly through the ascension process. So it's like, okay, I want to experience this and I want to move on. Where there are some souls that are like, okay, I want to experience every aspect of this. And I have one friend who is so where you are right now is for a very important reason. Now, that's not to say don't do anything, but feel or do what you're feeling called to do. We just give you tips to help you along the way. Because maybe at a later time you might feel the call to start more habits, but maybe right now you don't feel it. Go with what you're feeling and trust that feeling and be at peace with where you are. That's extremely important to do. Not think that, oh man, I'm behind the times or I'm not doing everything that I should be doing. Don't feel like that. Be at peace
No.
and
Yeah.
and love where you are, appreciate where you are, and feel the gratitude for where you are and what you have done. Don't hold on to what you haven't done. Let that go and go with what you are feeling. It is such an important part of all of this to feel very comfortable where you are, knowing that you're on the right direction. And just because you are moving at a different pace than someone else is irrelevant. You're moving, and that is what's most important. And there's a lot of appreciation there, and hopefully you find that for yourself.
Yeah, I know. I think we do get caught up in the Some people thinking like, oh, I have to be doing this, or I shouldn't be doing that, or I have to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, when it all comes down to it, the most important thing you can do is exist
Mm-hmm.
and really be as okay with that existence as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And that is honestly like, if we can't do anything else at any point, that is just the best thing we can do, is just be in somewhat of a joy with our existence. And that is doing a lot for everyone.
Yep.
Just to be sometimes. It's like we give you all of these tools and tricks, and some of them, yes, very important, especially calling for help is one of the biggest things. And we can give you all the grounding techniques and the self-talk, and and hopefully when you need it, it's something you can use, and they're tools. But the bottom line is just you existing and just being is enough for when it has to be.
Yep.
Until we move a little farther. Yep.
Awesome. I'm good.
Yeah, I just want to say, I do think these energies are rolling on out, and I mean, I don't know, like, if you're somebody who just was cool with it, oh my gosh, awesome, amazing. If you're somebody that finds that you're one of the people, like, even with the moons or these energies, find yourself that you are more like me and it's where the werewolf legend came from, I'm pretty sure. Maybe get familiar with some of these energies that are coming in, so kind of maybe we can be more ready. It doesn't mean that we're going to like eloquently flow through it, but maybe just we can be a little more prepared for when they come, because there's quite a few throughout the year that do come in. I have felt that this is probably one of the most intense, so if you survived 8/8, congrats. Like, I really feel like I just survived a war inside of myself, so
I'm with you.
yeah.
Well, thank you for
So,
sharing your stories. I appreciate that for sure.
thanks,
If
just
no
trying
one
to
else
help.
does, I know I do. So
Yeah.
awesome. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Appreciate you all very much. And we'll definitely be back. And I do want to talk about more on the next show, maybe the speed or the movement of souls and how quickly or slowly they move through these different processes, because that's an interesting topic and one that keeps coming up for me. So thank you.
Yeah, I think some of those rapid cycling ones maybe regret their decision to do it so fast.
Well, I definitely have some stories of interesting ones that are like, wow, that's when you look at it from that perspective, man, whew, there's a lot that you
Yeah.
can get from it. So yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
Next time.
Definitely. Thank you so much,
See
bro.
ya.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes. Talk to you all soon. And as always, may your mind find peace, your heart find love, and your soul find light. Appreciate you all, guys.